We are so back. Cricket in Australia is back for the summer, and I think this series is going to be one to remember. For the first time ever, they are playing a 5-match series against India, which I think is just a great move. Australia really needs this because I feel like the last few years since the Ashes, the summer of cricket hasn't really been delivering, so I'm really excited to see where this one goes. And today we're going to be previewing it. So let's have a look at what happened last time. India currently hold the trophy after defeating Australia 2-1 at home in 2023. And this came after India won in Australia back-to-back. And let's be real, those were both incredibly impressive performances by India. And they really put the Australian side to shame, which was going through some difficult times following the sandpaper saga. India is coming into this series with a little bit of shaky form. And Australia, since the last time they played in a series, has defeated India in both the World Test Championship final and in the ODI World Cup final as well. Australia will be looking to reclaim the Border-Gavaskar Trophy, which they haven't held since 2015. Can you believe that? That was back when Mitchell Johnson was playing. Lineups. If you look at Australia's lineup, it is as balanced as it has ever been. Maybe the most balanced that I've seen since the days of Clark, Hussey, Punter, and even Langer and Hayden at the top. This is a very impressive Australian team that they'll be putting out to bat in Perth at Optus Stadium come Saturday. Their only hole is really at the top, and we discussed this extensively. Australia going to debut Nathan McSweeney at the top of the order. If you watch that video, if you haven't, I recommend go and watch it. But if you watch that video, Nathan McSweeney wasn't my choice, but he's a pretty damn good one, and I believe that he can do the job. Unfortunately, it is a tough ask to be debuting against India. I really wish him the best, but that is Australia's point of weakness at the top of the order. But then he'll be alongside Usman Khawaja, and everyone knows how good Uzi is, and behind him is an incredible middle order, as I said earlier, the strongest that I've seen in years. You could argue the wicketkeeper spot needs a little bit of work. That's okay. I feel like that position isn't so important because Australia's bowlers not only can bat, but will deliver with the ball when being asked to. This bowling lineup is verging on iconic status. All 4 of them have cemented themselves as Australian legends over the past couple of years and are starting to work their way up the leaderboards in terms of all-time wickets and best performances seen by a bowler by our country. This is a fully fit Australian side, apart from Cameron Green being out. And let's be real, Cameron Green, as good of a bloke as he is, and as fantastic of a player he will one day be, I don't think he is quite there in terms of being consistent and ironing out a few of his weaknesses. So Cameron Green probably wouldn't have made the starting 11 anyway. But apart from that, this is a fully fit Australian squad. Now let's have a look at India. Everyone knows how damn good they are. There's a reason why they made the World Test Championship final, but they are coming into this series with a little bit of shaky form. And this is because they just lost 3-0 at home to New Zealand. Now, no disrespect to New Zealand, a fantastic side, but India should not be losing 3-0 to New Zealand. So they're coming in with really shaky form. At the same time though, since Australia last played them in a test match in the World Test Championship final, there have been some emerging talents. Yasval is emerging as a leading run scorer, and against England, which you have to remember was only earlier this year where they won 4-1, he was averaging 89 runs. Can you believe that? And he hit an unbeaten 214, and you can't knock England. They're a decent side. You could argue that Bazball wasn't the right approach, but India smacked them, and that was only early this year, so they're not out of it by any means. And then on top of that, Jasprit Bumrah will be back. He wasn't playing against Australia in the World Test Championship final, but he is captaining India these days. Everyone knows how deadly he is in Australia. Where are we playing? We are playing in Perth at Optus Stadium, and I have to admit, I've been to a few of these games. The move to Optus isn't good from a fan's perspective. There's a reason there are declining crowd numbers in Western Australia. It is a terrible place to watch cricket. Moving away from the WACA was a mistake. An iconic pitch and an iconic ground as well. Fantastic place to sit up on the grass and watch the cricket. So just from a fan point of view, mistake from Cricket Australia. But then on top of that, these pitches that they've been putting out, yeah, they're fast. Yeah, they turn a little bit. Nathan Lyon, I think, got a 5-wicket haul the last time they played India here. But they're a little bit of a road. Australia has played at Optus Stadium 4 times, and all 4 times they've won, and that includes against India last time out in Australia. Now, I've got a few categories. Biggest winner, biggest loser, and player to watch out for. Biggest winner, I'm going to predict Labuschagne to be the biggest winner. Now, as we've all seen, the past few series, he has lost his touch a little bit. He hasn't been the same player that we saw emerge when Steve Smith got concussed back in the Ashes series at Lords. But at Optus Stadium in Perth, his record is hard to beat. He averages 103 at Optus, and I'm calling for him to make a return to form in this game this summer. Biggest loser. Now, this is a little bit hard to call because both sides have such incredible talent, and no one's really coming into this series with that bad of form. But I am going to say that Virat Kohli will be the biggest loser in this match. Big call, because everyone knows how good Virat Kohli's record is in Australia. I think he's hit 11 or 12 centuries in Australia, and that's a record that not even many Australian batsmen would be able to claim. But in recent years, and especially in the most recent series, he has been woefully out of form. He has only hit 2 centuries since 2019. Do you know how long ago that is? 2019, 5 years ago, was when he last had a decent run of form. Since then, he's only hit 2 centuries. That was against Australia in the last Border-Gavaskar Trophy in Australia, and against the West Indies, which, let's be real, that's really not on the same level as some of these larger sides. Look, I may come to regret saying that because Virat Kohli very much has the ability to really dominate opposition, and he's proven it against Australia in the past, but his recent record doesn't show it. And I'm worried that what we are experiencing with Kohli is what we experienced with Ricky Ponting at the end of his career, where it just kind of fades out. Something great, no longer. Let's see. Player to watch out. I already mentioned him, Yaswal. He seems to be the man for India at the moment. I'm also going to add another category. Who am I excited for? I'm excited to see Nathan McSweeney go about his business. I haven't seen much of him. I'm really looking forward to see how he takes on the responsibility of opening the batting for Australia. So who will actually win? I predict Australia to beat India in Perth, and I reckon from the 5-match test series, Australia will win 3-1. Those are my predictions. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this match unfolds. Make sure to leave a comment down below for what you think. And yeah, I'll catch you all for the review.